So we're a few days from tax deadline. I think today is April 5th. And I just came back from taking a week off. And I have lots of taxes to do this week. And I get back to town and my long time printer, HP 86, decides it no longer wants to work. Why? Because it can't read one color cartridge sensor, the cyan, CYAN, however you pronounce that. Because it can't read that one thing, the whole printer won't work. I can't print, I can't copy. I can scan, but if I take all the cartridges out, I can scan, but I can't print and I can't copy. So I watched a YouTube video yesterday and spent several hours yesterday taking the machine apart trying to repair it based on the YouTube video. To no avail. The thing still didn't work. All because of one color cartridge, I lose an entire machine. Now this is a problem for me because I hardly even print in color anymore. So this is a problem that I lose my whole machine. It is in very good shape. The machine overall is in excellent condition. And it kind of almost still looks new. But because one color cartridge could not be read, the sensor is broken or whatever it is, and it could not be read, the whole printer now has to be, it won't work. So today, that was yesterday's drama. So today I decided I didn't have time to research a new printer, and I refused to buy a printer or any of these type of things without doing research. So I ran around town, went out to Modesto because they have good secondhand stores and thrift stores out there. So I ran all around Modesto, going from secondhand store to secondhand store, and then also there's a couple of electronics retail stores. One of them I went to, and it was no longer a retail store. They only do repairs by appointment and things like repairs and services by appointment. So the store's not there anymore. So I just went around store to store to store trying to find a used printer. I called a friend of mine who has a business that refurbishes electronics to see if he had a printer. He didn't have one. The method to my madness was I was just going to buy a printer so I can get through tax season, and then after tax season I'll do my research and get a good printer. But I had purposed in my mind that I was not getting another printer to print color, because when the whole printer won't work because of one color cartridge, and you have to have a color cartridge in every one. So yesterday I spent $130 on ink for the machine to still not be able to work because of one cartridge. And it already had a cartridge in there, and I was like, how did that cartridge empty out so fast? So then I went and bought brand new ones, and it still couldn't read, the sensor still couldn't read it. So today, after running around town, running around Modesto, I live in Tracy. I went out to Modesto. I started with the Goodwill here in Tracy, which never has anything I'm looking for. But I was giving it a chance. From there, I went to Modesto. I saw lots of stuff because I used to do the little secondhand store shopping thing. I haven't done it in a while, but I was feeling it today. So I'm probably going to go back and do that again. I had to keep pulling myself back in, reminding myself what I was out here for. So my last stop in Modesto was at a store called the Gadget Exchange. And when I walked in, the guy there was so helpful. I told him, I said, I'm looking for a printer. And he just kind of nodded his head like, it's not getting ready to happen, sis. And so I explained to him my problem, what I was experiencing with my printer. And their website says they do repairs. And he said, this is what he told me, and this really helped me. He said, we used to see that problem all the time. He said, do you print a lot? And I said, I haven't printed a lot lately, but right now I am. And he said, do you print in color a lot? I said, I hardly ever print in color anymore. And he said, that's the problem. When you don't use when you don't use an ink cartridge it leaks into the little, I saw the little things. I don't even know what they're called. It's a little tube thing. He said, and then it gets sticky and gummy up in those tubes because the cartridge isn't being used enough, or the color isn't being used enough. He said, we used to take the machines apart and blow those blockages out. And he said, but it's not worth it, because if you're not gonna, it doesn't stay. The fix doesn't keep, and especially if you don't print in color, the fix doesn't keep. He said it's really not worth it to even get it fixed. For that reason, he said, since you don't print in color, he told me what monochrome printer he uses. He went on Staples and showed me his recommended brands. He told me which brands and models to stay away from. And I said to him, the reason I didn't just go buy a printer is because I didn't have time to do research. But now that you're telling me what to buy, what not to buy, I can go right now and take care of this. And so I was so grateful to him. I told him I was going to come back later and do business with him once my crisis was over. And so then from there, I went to Staples to try and pick up one of the models that he suggested. They had 0 laser all-in-one black and white all-in-one printers available in the store. None. And there was, I think I saw HP, but HP was one of the brands he said for now not to get. And I was already there because I'm just upset with this brand, this one. Even though it's been good to me, I'm just upset. So I was kind of like, I don't know about HP this time. So I asked the lady in Staples if the problem that they were having where they weren't able to get these laser jets, these monochrome laser jets with the all-in-one, was that common, or was it just in their store? And she said it's common because of COVID and the supply chain, blah, 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 blah. So basically, in her assumption, I was not going to be able to find a laser printer, which I want a laser printer, not an OfficeJet, not a jet printer, a laser printer that has a scanner. It doesn't need a fax because I use an online fax service. I don't need fax on my machine. So I left there and I thought to myself when I got to the car, that's what Staples is saying. Of the stores nearby, which ones might have more buying power than Staples? Now, just because Staples can't get the machine right now, somebody's got to have this a LaserJet all-in-one. So I thought about the stores that probably have more buying power, and I ran over to them. I thought about Best Buy, and I thought Best Buy probably doesn't have more buying power than Staples, but I looked them up online. They only had one of the models that I was looking for, which basically was brand. It needed to be a brother. Anyway, I'm not going to say the brands, but certain brands. So Best Buy did not have any in stock. But I thought to myself, Best Buy probably does not necessarily have more buying power than Staples. So then of the stores nearby that I thought would have more buying power, I went to those 2 stores. The next one was Costco. And while I was there, I got some Costco gas, which is I can't remember the last time I got Costco gas. So that was a lesson all in itself. I didn't even know how to, I didn't know how to get gas at Costco, but I learned today. I usually only get Chevron. But today it got Costco gas. So I got some gas. I went in Costco, looked to see what they had. They only had an HP in terms of one that had an all-in-one. They only had an HP MV, which I think was an OfficeJet. It wasn't a LaserJet. And I thought I saw another LaserJet. I think it was an Epson that was a LaserJet. It was all-in-one, but it had color cartridge, and I'm not getting another color machine for my machine to not work over color. Not doing that right now. So I said, okay, the next store in my area that has more buying power than Staples and Best Buy is Walmart. Went to Walmart, walked right in, and got this beauty right here. This wasn't one of the models that the guy at the gadget exchange store, Modesto, recommended, but it's close. It's a step down from the model he recommended, but I have it. It is here. I'm in the process of installing it. It cost $170, so I returned $130 worth of ink, pointless ink, to Staples and drove across the way to Walmart and spent $170 on a monochrome LaserJet all-in-one. I'm installing it now. I stopped to eat because I hadn't even eaten, running around doing all this stuff. I'm installing it now, and then I'm about to get to work. So that was today's excitement. Well, that was 2 days of excitement. It has put me behind 2 days in tax work. So I have some time to make up for it, but I stopped to share this with you. So if you're out there looking for a printer, if you don't print in color, a lot, just bypass the color printer. Just get a monochrome. This is my suggestion at this point, having learned what I just learned today and experienced what I experienced this weekend. I can always go, since I don't print in color a lot, I can always go to FedEx, Kinko's, or Staples or something like that for the times that I do need color. I don't need to own a printer that prints color that's going to require me to purchase color ink only for it to stop up my machine, and then I have to get another machine. All right, so that's a business tip. That's a business tip for all my business folks out there. If you don't print color on a regular basis, just bypass the color. Get a monochrome LaserJet, so you get a nice, good quality printer that will last you for a while and can print a lot of sheets of paper and can handle the workload. And then when you need color, you just go to FedEx, Kinko's, or FedEx Office, whatever they're called now. FedEx Office, go to FedEx Office or Staples or something like that and print in color. In the long run, it may save you some money. Now, because I've had this HP 8600 for years, it's probably time for a new one. But it was running strong. It had no problems. It had no problems. All this drama was behind one color cartridge, and it is not going to happen to me again. All right, I'm about to get to work.